the clue lies in the next line when I said, look, the Catholic Church doesn't care if something's unpopular. And I think that was best summed up in the encyclical, which didn't come out until after I joined the Catholic Church, but very shortly afterwards, the encyclical came out from John Paul II called Veritatis Splendor, the shining of truth. And the essence of the argument in that was that something may be unpopular, but still right, or it may be hugely popular, but still wrong. And that truth is what determines things. Now, the Church of England lost that perspective years and years ago, while I was still in my youth. We had even a very senior bishop, he was then the fourth most senior bishop in the Church of England, questioned articles of creed. Well, you know, if the fourth most senior bishop questions the articles of creed, well, where are we? And so it went on, and it seemed to me that the Church was always sacrificing faith to fashion, creed to compromise, and it still wasn't filling its pews. You know, that policy wasn't working. And I wanted a church which knew what it believed and stood by it through thick and thin, which is what the early Christians did. And so that was the big bundle of straw.
And now that you are in the Roman Catholic Church, do you think Catholics are brave enough today in the face of what's unpopular?
No, I don't. Catholics tend to want to compromise. And they tend to say, oh, well, you know, that's the teaching of the church, but maybe, blah, blah, blah. Now, the interesting thing is that there's a much higher bar for the convert than there is for cradle Catholics, because cradle Catholics can develop doubts about half the canon, and they still stay Catholics and they're still welcome at the communion table. If you are crossing into Catholicism, you have to say individually and aloud at the point of reception, I believe that all the church teaches is truth revealed by God. Now, therefore, if you have any reservations at all, you can't say that, at least not without committing a major act of perjury. But if you've always been in the church, nobody requires you to say that. And I think many Catholics do shilly-shally. Now, some things I understand, doesn't mean I condone, but I do understand. I understand Catholics who say that the church's teaching on contraception is just impossible in practice. I understand that. But the fact is that if something is true, it's true. And I think that is the thing we've lost sight of. The early Christians did not have an easy time. I'm always pointing this out. Paul was beheaded. Peter was crucified upside down. Stephen was stoned to death. They didn't have an easy time. But they knew what the good news and the message was, and they were determined to take that, in St. Paul's case, everywhere, determined to take that out and spread it. And that is what we have to do.